Hey guys, it's Hollywood. I posted a video last week of my Gucci Glock problems. Basically, it was not cycling properly. It would cycle fine with ETS magazines and with standard Glock magazines, but when I used this +5 setup here, it was having fits, man. I just could not get it to cycle reliably. Every once in a while I'd get, a magazine through it, but for the most part, every magazine was having at least one, if not multiple failures. There's probably a few things that I should check before I can concretely say that this is the problem. And I did attribute this to being the problem in that last video. That may have been unfair without doing a little bit more comparison. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to run this same exact setup again. I got some really good recommendations. People recommended a lighter recoil spring because I added weight on top of the slide. I don't have that problem with my other Glock 19, but I got a lot of really good recommendations. Let's go ahead and make sure this is still having cycling issues. If it is, then I am going to try this same magazine in another Glock 19, see if the issue persists. That will kind of confirm that it is most likely this. SLR did see that video and they reached out to me and he said, man, I have literally sold over 15,000 of those things and I have never seen somebody have the issues that you're having. So he sent me replacement parts. This is not the replacement parts. This is the exact same setup that you saw failing in that previous video. But in all fairness, I want to make sure that it is actually this. The only thing that has changed from what I'm about to show you is I ran out of all the other ammo that I had from Idaho Ordnance. I'm going to run some Federal white box here. It's possible that other ammo was underpowered. That could have been part of it. However, all the other magazines cycled fine, so it kind of didn't lead me that direction the way that the tests were going at the time. So the only difference here is the ammo. Let's see how it performs. Okay. Same exact problem I had last time. It's hard for you to see this, but what it looks like is actually happening is it's failing to eject the spent casing, and the slide has cycled far enough to pick up the next round and jam it into the bottom of the feed ramp because it can't come up because this one is in the way. So I effectively now have two of them in here. I have the spent one that is still stuck there, and I have a live round underneath that is jammed into the bottom of the feed ramp. So you can actually see when I drop it right there, look at the groove cut in the bullet there. That is from the bottom of the feed ramp. Yeah, same thing again. So let's dump that guy out. Same thing there. You can see it jammed into the bottom of the feed ramp. Finger off the slide stop. Same thing. Spent shell. All right, let's try this in another Glock 19. My JagerWorks 19. All right, let's try another one. And one more. All right. I should have done that in the first video. And I think it's fair to say at this point, this was not the problem. So SLR, I apologize. I did not do my due diligence in that video. Let's try a Terran Tactical extended magazine. Okay, It ejected the shell that time, but it did still jam one up, let's see, focus, against the feed ramp. Try a Glock 17 magazine. This has run fine previously. Let's make sure. And one more magazine from a Glock 17. This one has yet to fail, and I've probably got, I don't know, 6 full magazines through. I don't know, man. So where does that leave us? Well, it's not SLR. That is good. Son's walking around over here. That is good, and I will make sure to put something in the title of this video. I'll make sure this video shows up at the end of the previous video in terms of an apology. It was unprofessional of me to not do more due diligence before I attributed the failures to their magazine extension. It is still failing, and part of me thought that maybe the ejector was not angled properly and kicking those shells out, but you saw on the Glock 17 magazine, it ejected all of them, and I've got now 7 full magazines through there, and that thing is fine. So where does that leave me? I guess I can go ahead and try the recoil spring, get maybe a 15-pound recoil spring, and see if that helps, but I'm glad it wasn't SLR. I do have a lot of their products. If you've seen any of my AR-15 builds, I've got a ton of their stuff on my AR-15s, from muzzle devices to hand guards. That magazine extension is beautiful. On the last video, actually, I failed to mention their magwell there. Beautiful, feels great in the hand. So more to come on this. I'm gonna go ahead, go back into the house, order another recoil spring. All right, so that recoil spring kit is supposed to deliver tomorrow. And it has been 3 days since I shot that footage where I was trying to get this to work. Now, in between the time that I ordered that a few days ago and today, I actually did a lot of research, and I found some other people with very, very similar problems. And what they attribute it to is the Gen 3 ejector. So this is the 336 ejector. If you Google 336 ejector problems, you will find all kinds of videos where guys are having problems with their Gen 3s. And they simply take a Gen 4 ejector, remove this one, slide that Gen 4 in, and they said it has completely fixed all of their erratic feeding issue or ejection issues. I found a video from NFA Review Channel from 2012, so this is not a new problem. And I'm kind of disappointed in you guys for not knowing this and telling me in the comments. I'm just kidding. This is the 30274, which is part of the Gen 4 housing. And now the Gen 4 housing will not fit, but this guy, I'm going to remove it from this housing, slide it into the Gen 3 housing, and that should fix the issue. Son of a bitch. All right, USPS just came. This is the guide rod kit from Blacklist Industries. It comes with an 18-pound kind of a factory spring. It comes with a 15-pound spring and a 13-pound spring. They're color-coded. This is the 13-pound spring. If it works. So it ejected, but then it proceeded to jam up against the feed ramp. Okay, so I took the extractor, excuse me, off my other Glock that cycles fine. I basically took all of the slide internals off that other slide and put them in here. If this doesn't work, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take it to Glock. Luckily, I only live 20 minutes away. Jammed it up against the feed ramp again. Same magazine, other Glock 19. It's fine, man. It's not this magazine. All right, swap the barrel. So this is the S3F Solutions barrel instead of the Lantac one on that same Glock. All right, the ETS mag that has worked. All right, now I have swapped that base plate onto a completely different Glock magazine. So I'm just trying everything at this point. I don't even know what else to do. I'm at a loss. I really don't know what else to do. It's something about this gun with this mag extension. Doesn't matter what magazine I put it on, it fails. This combination just doesn't work together. This gun works fine with other magazines that aren't extended. As soon as I throw an extended magazine on there with one of those higher pressure springs in it, it just doesn't work. I don't know what else to do. And I'm not sure it's something Glock is gonna try to fix, because this is not a Glock, you know? This is not their problem. What do you guys think? What do you recommend? Okay, so this is the spring that you're supposed to buy if you buy that +5 extension from SLR. Took that out, and I'm running a standard Glock 19 spring with the extension. All right, it did fail on the very last round, and I had a feeling it was going to. You can see, it's the very last round, and if you look at the follower, it's very loose and not quite to the top. So I don't think with as fast as I was firing, it was able to get that round up high enough by the time the slide cycled. So it did jam that one up on me. But it cycled everything else fine. I think that spring is too strong, and for some reason this gun doesn't like it. Works fine on my other Glock 19. This gun does not like it. It's so frustrating. Maybe what I need is a Glock 17 spring in this. I don't even know if it's worth it at this point. I think I'm just done with this thing. It works fine in other guns. I'll stand by SLR. I don't think it's this thing's problem. For whatever reason, this gun does not like those extra power springs. It failed with the Terran Tactical one also. That's a +3 and it has a longer spring in it. So, looks like I'm rocking the 15+1 for a while. Just want to show you something. When we started, there was 800 rounds of 9mm in here, and that might be 50. I really don't know what else to do at this point. I have tried every combination of parts and different guns, and I've bought everything that I know to replace on this thing, and for whatever reason, it just won't work with this. Don't know what else to do. Thoughts? Leave them in the comments below. Thanks, guys.